All the laminate repair solutions I'm going to mention in this video are things you can do at home. However, just because something is doable at home doesn't mean you should necessarily do it if you think you're going to make a mess of things more than they already are. So at your own discretion, you can use these at home if you wish. But if you think you're going to get yourself into trouble, it's best to call a professional. These solutions are not rocket science, they're not brain surgery, but they do require a little bit of skill. But for the average homeowner, I think it's possible for you to do it. Laminate sometimes can be looked at as cheap or poor quality, but the truth is laminate is very durable, it is still a great choice, and the price of it makes it very affordable for most consumers. The first and easiest at-home countertop repair is fixing a damaged end cap. You've hooked it with your clothes walking by the counter, it's snapped off or tore off, and now you need to replace it. Well, if you have the piece of laminate that has chipped off, all you need is some contact cement and you can glue that thing right back into place. And I highly recommend you try this first before you hire someone to come in and do it for you. Whenever you're ordering laminate countertop, order an extra end cap. There is a technique to applying an end cap. It's very doable for the average homeowner. I'll link to a video in the description below that I found on how to do it. It's not difficult. Like I said, some contact cement and a file, and normally that's all you will need to repair and replace an end cap right at home. Now, what about scratches, nicks, chips? What do we do with these situations? Normally when people would call me and say, hey, I got a big nick in my countertop, or there's a big chunk out of it, or something like that, is that repairable? And I would always say, not a chance. You need to order new countertop. And it just so happens that I sell new countertop. What do you know? But what if I told you there was a way to salvage that countertop, that you didn't have to replace it, that there is a solution to fix a deep scratch or a nick or a chip from the laminate? Well, you would say, tell me, which is what I'm going to do right now. There is a product on the market called Seam Fill. It's been around for a number of years, and it is used to repair the nicks and scratches and cracks that happen to laminate. It's a very good product, and I've personally seen it used and seen the results. The great thing about Seam Fill is their website has a color matching chart for many types of laminate. They have Formica, Nevermar, Pionite, and Wilsonart. I will link to their website so you can have a look at those charts. They come in very handy if you happen to have one of those types of laminates. There is a technique and it is very doable, but you have to learn how to do it. So there is a video in the description below. Check that out if you decide to purchase this product and use it on your countertop. Many building supply stores carry Seam Fill. Walmart carries it. You can buy it on Amazon. I will link to it below in the description where you can purchase it right from that link. If you're in Canada, they have supply. For some reason right now in the US, the supply is low, but I'll link to it anyway in case that changes in the near future. Seam Fill is what I also recommend that you put on the joints when you join two miter cuts together. It really helps to prevent water damage on a seam. So if you think this is something you can do, by all means go for it. But if not, call somebody in. There's many installers that know about Seam Fill and use it when they're installing and when they're doing jobs. In fact, they guarantee that when used according to the directions, it will last as long as your countertop lasts. Check out their website. You can see what I mean, read up on it if you're curious. It's a very good product and definitely a better solution than having to replace your entire countertop, especially if it's not really due, like unless you purposely scratch the countertop because you're looking for a new one. I mean, maybe then you're like, stop talking about Seam Fill, I don't want anyone to know. Well, if that's the case, then it's time to just get a new countertop. Go with quartz or something. Surface scratches, I'm not too concerned about. There's a regular wear and tear that laminate or anything gets from using it. So there are some surface scratches and stuff that happens to laminate that isn't a big deal. But a deep scratch that goes into the substrate underneath is a problem, and that should be filled. And Seam Fill is a really great way to do that. Now, maybe this has happened to you. In haste, you rapidly removed a pot from the stove, it's boiling over, and you're just trying to get it out of the way. Maybe the smoke detector's going off and there's steam and smoke everywhere. So you move the pot and you don't even think about it and you place it down right on your laminate countertop. Oh, great. The next thing that happens is delamination. It bubbles, it might burn, it might break. What do? Normally, I would say you're done. You need to replace that countertop. There's no way to fix it. And the truth is, there isn't any way to fix delamination. If the countertop delaminates or if it burns, it's pretty much finished. But there is a solution that I came across some years ago that I think is genius And in the right circumstance, it might be right for you. Check out this. This is an insert cutting board. You cut a hole in your laminate, it insets into the laminate, and now you have this tempered glass, heat-resistant, extra surface in the event that you do need to move a hot pot onto the counter ever again. I think this is genius. They come in a variety of sizes and colors. It sets right in and bam, you just have a solution. You don't need to order a new countertop. If this will work for you, I think it's a great solution. It is definitely something you can do yourself at home. Basically, you cut a hole with the jigsaw to the size you need. They come with a template. You insert the thing, secure it into place, bammo, you're done. You have a new replacement for that burned piece of countertop. Of course, this isn't gonna work in every circumstance, but it might be a solution for you if you find yourself in that situation. I'll link to a website down below. It's not an affiliate link. It's called richelieu.com. They ship to Canada and the United States, and you can order one of these yourself. I think it's a great solution. In fact, it is a great solution. I think it's awesome that if you can not replace the entire countertop, you don't have to. Now, what about water damage? When it comes to water damage, prevention is the best solution. There is no way to fix water damage once water gets into the post-form substrate. Once it gets into that particle board swells. The three areas where you can get water damage is one, obviously around your sink and the sink cutout. So if your sink isn't sealed properly or if that seal has deteriorated over the years, you should really think about replacing that seal and making sure that that cutout is not wet. The one thing that happens is that water gets in there and it swells. And really, that's not the biggest deal. The biggest thing is that wet particle board is an amazing environment for mold and mildew to grow in, and that's not healthy. The second place is in a miter joint, so where the joints come together in a corner. If that joint gets wet, if there's water left on that joint, water is amazing at finding its way into places. I've seen it over and over and over again. It's the biggest complaint from homeowners when they call about their laminate is that they have a swollen seam. And the bad thing is there is zero warranty on swollen miters. In fact, once laminate countertop is cut, the warranty is void anyway. The only thing that you're covered with a laminate countertop is just delamination for no real reason. In other words, it's just a factory defect. But anything around a seam, there's no warranty. You have to pay the cost to get it replaced. So with that being said, do your very best to protect the corners to make sure there's no water or excessive heat on that seam. The third place is underneath the front nosing. Most laminate countertops wrap around right underneath the front edge, but some don't, and some don't wrap around all the way. So you can reach under there with your fingers and feel some of the particle board. Just be careful not to allow too much water to get underneath there, because that is a place that's open, that water can get in, set into the particle board, and start to swell. And like I said, swelling in the countertop isn't a big deal. It is the mildew and mold that can grow that is very bad for your health, so we want to prevent that as much as possible. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It really means a lot. Give it a thumbs up if I deserved it, and share it with somebody who you know is having some issues with their laminate. If you're looking for a complete online kitchen design solution, check my link in the description below on how we might be able to work together on your next kitchen design. And if you've liked this video, chances are you'll like these two videos, and if that's the case, click on them, give them a watch. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching at this point, you know who you are, you're a superstar. Comment down below, superstar, so that I know it's you, and we will see you next time.